at Asnuntuck Community College. Start on the school's homepage. You need to scroll all the way to the bottom of the page and sign into MyComNet. It's the same username and password that you would use for your email, to sign on to Blackboard, or for any other school purposes. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. My login information is actually saved on my computer. So since I'd already logged in, now I come to MyComNet. We're going to go to the My Library Info tab. You likely only have one choice, which would be Asnuntuck Community College Library. So you're going to select that. And that will actually take you directly to the library databases. On the databases page, depending on your project, you're likely to start with Academic Search Premier. A few of the databases have to be searched on their own. Opposing Viewpoints is useful for any paper that is on a topic that has two sides. For example, the use of birth control, whether or not marijuana should be legalized, whether or not medical marijuana should be used, and so on. JSTOR also has to be searched on its own. JSTOR is useful for humanities, things like art, music, and literature. If we scroll down a little bit further, the newspapers also have to be searched by themselves. You can go to ProQuest newspapers to search multiple papers at the same time. And finally, the four things listed under history and biography also needed to be searched separately. These are, for the most part, related to Connecticut, and History Reference Center and Biography Reference Bank are also part of the larger EBSCO group, which we're going to get to using this Academic Search Premier. All right, having clicked onto Academic Search Premier, now I'm in EBSCO Host, which is just a group of databases that we can search all at once. You can see that I'm in Academic Search Premier here, and I have the opportunity to choose other databases. This will let me search more than one at a time. So Academic Search Premier is clicked. I'm going to leave that. If you don't know what's in a database, you can simply hover over the little symbol that's next to it. So this one is that I'm looking at is for nursing and allied health. Green file, for example, if I were to look at that, has to do with a lot of different environmental issues. For the most part, I'm going to say always keep Academic Search Premier checked. If you're looking for general information, you can also go with Master File Premier here. You might also try Main File. So for demonstration purposes, I'm going to stick with those three. Now I'm going to come back to the top. I'm going to click OK. And now here, if I wanted to see the databases I selected, I could pick Show All, and you can see that it's showing me the other two that I had. Now before I actually do my search, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. We always want to limit to full text. That means you're going to get your entire article. We also are going to limit to peer-reviewed. Most of your assignments have to do with scholarly or academic journals, and we want something that's peer-reviewed because that way we know that this is something that we can trust. I'm going to scroll back up to the top, and now I need to put in my actual subject. Remember that you cannot ask a question like you can with Google. You just need to use a keyword or a key phrase. So I'm just going to use child abuse. We'll just leave it at child abuse as my topic. You can see there's also suggestions here. In fact, let's go with, how about child abuse prevention? I'm going to click on the green search. And you can see right now I've got almost 7,000 results. So I'd like to narrow that down a little bit further. Your results are put in by relevance. You can change this. So for example, if I wanted to look at the newest article first, I could certainly do that. I'm going to leave it just by relevance. And scrolling down a little bit, I'm looking at this left-hand toolbar. My first article is actually from 1966. For me, that's going to be a little too old. So I'm just going to drag this forward. If we go with year 2000, that's the past 20 years for most subjects. That should be good. So now I've got 20 years, none of that source type. I'm going to limit myself to just the academic journals. That may vary depending on what your assignment is. So we've got journals, reviews, would be things like book reviews, magazines, and so on. You could also, if you wanted to limit by publication, you can pick a particular journal to look at. If you've got a lot of different languages there, you could perhaps limit by language. Say, I just want English, and so on. So I'm going to scroll back up to the top. And I'm just going to use the first one as my example. So here I've got the title, and I've got the very beginning right here of a summary. I'd like to read that whole summary. So if I click on the article title, and I scroll down just a little bit, you can see I've got the abstract. The abstract gives me a summary of the article. So I'm going to read through the abstract, decide if this is an article that I'd like to use. I can also click over here where it says PDF full text. That will allow me to actually see the article. I can scan through that if I'd like. If I want, I could just read it. This one you can see is 33 pages, so I'm not going to take the time now. I have the choice to download the article to my device. You have the choice to print it. You can also, if you use this symbol here, and I click on that, you can save directly to your Google Drive. So those are your options to actually save. You could download, print, or go to Google Drive. Now, once I've finished with this article, I can go back to my result list using this. I can also take a look at the detailed record again. I'm going to go back to my list of articles, and then I could move on, say, to number 2, if I also thought number 2 would be useful, and so on. The icons on this side, these tools here on the right, I can save things to my Google Drive, print. Now, if I were to click on print, I will not be able to print the article itself. All I'll be able to do is to print the citation for it. Okay, so this one is actually HTML text and, as you can see on the left, PDF. I don't want the HTML document. I do want the citation. And here you can see citation type. For most classes, you're going to change that to MLA. And then if I click on print, you notice that what I can print is actually the citation for that particular work. Keep in mind that you do need to do a little bit of proofreading here, but the information you need will be provided right there. So again, I can go back. I can go back one more time to my result list. And if I didn't like my results here, I would have to refine a little bit. So maybe I'd like to add, maybe I'm particularly interested in New York City. So child abuse prevention in New York City. We'll do that search. Now you can see that I'm down to 219 results. So that should give you a brief idea of how to use the databases that we have at Asnuntuck. Good luck, and be sure to email the library if you have any questions.